Oh, hey, look! It's a ghost that looks like the kid who died in the prologue.
Wake up.
Because this makes so much goddamn sense.
What? Where am I?
Good fucking question. And why am I not dying from vacuum
home.
exposure?
Who are
It's
you?
not a middle ground. That's the indoctrinated working class.
I am the catalyst.
I thought the Citadel was the catalyst.
No, the Citadel is part of me.
I need to stop the Reapers. Do you know how I can do that?
Perhaps. I control the Reapers. They are my solution.
To what? Solution to what?
Solution? To what?
Okay, he's about to make the entire plot of this trilogy fall apart. Chaos.
The created will always rebel against their creators. But we found a way to stop that from happening. A way to restore order.
This isn't order! It's mass genocide!
No, we harvest advanced civilizations, leaving the younger ones alone. Just as we left your people alive the last time we were here.
But you killed the rest.
We helped them ascend, so they could make way for new life, storing the old life in Reaper form.
That's not storing it, that's corrupting
We'd
it.
rather keep our own form.
No, you can't.
Why?
Without us to stop it, synthetics would destroy all organics.
Why did you
Create a
decide
cycle
that?
So that never happens. That's the solution.
That's a load of horse shit. Everything you just said makes no fucking sense. Synthetics would inevitably wipe out all organics. First of all, with how I've resolved the Geth and Quarian conflict, I just proved that that's not true. Second of all, what you are doing is not a solution to chaos. It is trying to manipulate chaos, or trying to limit it. And you're not actually limiting or manipulating it. You are fucking it, is what you are doing. You are fucking chaos into the goddamn universe by perpetuating an inevitable cycle of mass slaughter, death, and repeat offenses. You have kept life trapped in a loop of destruction so that it can't fucking find a way to either evolve beyond its mistakes or die out. That's not a solution, that's stagnation, you idiot.
You said you're the catalyst.
Yes, it's a cosmic
What are
AI. That's literally what it is.
A construct. An intelligence designed eons ago to solve a problem.
You
I
didn't
was
solve
created to
anything!
balance
You perpetuated the problem!
between organics and synthetics.
So you're just an AI?
You didn't bring peace! That's not peace!
I embody the collective intelligence of all Reapers.
No, you don't! You embody the collective intelligence of my ass on taco night!
Correct.
By who?
By ones who recognized that conflict would always arise between synthetics and organics. I was first created to oversee the relations between synthetic and organic life, to establish a connection.
This isn't a
But
connection.
our efforts always ended in conflict, so a new solution was required.
The
That
Reapers?
solution would be letting them figure it out for themselves or
Precisely.
watching them die when they can't. Because what you did was force it to endlessly reoccur so you could continue to clean up the mess and benefit from it, you imbecile.
I met your creators. They told me what you did to them.
We did as we were expected.
No, you didn't!
They said you betrayed them. That you turned them into Harbinger.
When they asked that I solve the problem of conflict, they failed to understand they were part of the problem themselves.
Why?
The flaws of their organic reasoning could not perceive this. They lacked the foresight to understand their destruction was part of the very solution they required.
Well,
What?
you've joined this war now.
And I welcome their involvement. I am only facilitating their request.
No, you're not! You're trying to act like there's some deep-seated reasoning that only a machine could perceive that an organic couldn't in order to facilitate this being necessary. But all you've done so far is tell me that you can't possibly understand organics any more than we can apparently understand synthetics. What you have proven is that conflict is an inevitability, and you decided to keep the universe stuck in an endless cycle of it because you can't figure out a solution that doesn't result in death. That makes you an idiot. That doesn't make you the solution to the problem. This is not a solution.
Where did the Reapers come from? Did you create
It's
them?
not a kid. It's an AI that takes the form of the kid in the prologue in order to, I don't know, facilitate some
The Reapers are a
level of
synthetic
cohesion in
representation of
how
my
it presents
creators.
itself. That's the
Why?
only intelligent thing it does.
Yes, they created me to oversee the relations between synthetic and organic life, to establish a connection. They became the first true Reaper. They did not approve, but it was the only solution.
It wasn't a solution!
You said that.
The solution was to end the conflict, to end it. You have caused endless fucking cycles of conflict with your solution. That's a paradox of fucking logic.
Synthetics must be allowed to evolve. They must, by definition, surpass their creators. The result is conflict, destruction, chaos. It is inevitable.
Then allow the natural result to occur and it will inevitably resolve.
Preserving them before they
Because
are
that
forever
chaos
lost is
inevitably
conflict.
results in the obliteration of one and the ascension of the other. That's the only other fucking thing you could really do.
We're at war with the Reapers right now.
You may be in conflict with the Reapers, but they are not interested in war.
I find that hard to believe.
When fire burns, is it at war? Is it in conflict? Or is it simply doing what it was created
Stop
to do?
comparing the slaughter and
We are no
indoctrination of trillions
We
to
harvest
a
your bodies,
fire
your
cleansing
knowledge,
a
your
forest.
creations. We preserve it, to be reborn in the
You
form
couldn't
of
find
new
a solution to this havoc, so you created a
Fire,
cycle that
we
feeds
restore
on it.
balance.
That's what you did. You don't restore balance.
New life,
You
both
perpetuate
organic
the
and
inevitable
synthetic,
failure
once
of
again
it.
flourish.
What do you know about the Crucible?
The device you refer to as the Crucible is little more than a power source. However, in combination with the Citadel and the relays, it is capable of releasing tremendous amounts of energy throughout the galaxy. It is crude, but effective and adaptive in its design.
No, it's not.
Who designed it?
You would not know them, and there is not enough time to explain.
You seem to think there's enough time to tell me everything fucking else.
Several cycles ago. With each passing cycle, the design has no doubt evolved.
Why didn't you stop it?
We believe the concept had been eradicated. Clearly, organics are more resourceful than we realized.
There's no way you thought that that concept had been eradicated over this many cycles. Unless, of course, you're as dumb as you've proven you are. Which, realistically, that's literally what you've done. You have proven that you're an idiot. And that you don't understand shit.
But you're taking away our future. Without a future, we have
Exactly.
no
No
hope.
human technological enhancement is made without
hope.
any form of war.
We might as well be machines.
But
Programmed to do
that
what we're
means
told.
that you have to be able
You
to
have
learn how to...
more than you
The
think.
point of this machine, the point of this
That's
AI,
genuine.
was to
First
stop that
organic
from
that
happening.
proves it.
He didn't stop
But
it.
it
He
also
didn't
proves
create
my
the
solution
inevitability of
won't
it
work
being
anymore.
resolved.
So now
You have to find a way to do that,
find
and
a
that's not
solution.
what he's doing. Instead, what he's doing is stagnating the issue. He's keeping it deadlocked in place
You have
by
altered the
consistently
variable.
wiping them out whenever they get to that point. That's not
Crucible
fixing
changed.
anything.
Created new
By
possibilities.
definition, that's
But I can't
that's
make them
hypocrisy.
happen.
It's idiotic hypocrisy. It doesn't
There
even
is
make
to be a new
sense.
Solution. You must act. It is now in your power to destroy us.
If we take this option, which is the
But
ultimate
be
renegade
warned,
option,
others will be destroyed.
we'll
as well.
destroy the Reapers. But it will
Crucible
destroy all
will
other
not
forms of
discriminate.
synthetic life when
All
we do.
synthetics will be targeted. Even you are partly synthetic.
Edie will die, the Geth will be destroyed, the Quarians will probably die because they have cybernetic suits. Because of the cybernetic implants, and Shepard, he will die.
What exactly will happen?
Your crucible device appears to be largely intact. However, the effects of the blast will not be...
Even if you try to follow the solution that this thing has somehow come to from a cold and logical perspective, again, the only logic I can come to is you didn't find a solution, so you stagnated the universe for billions of years while you stopped thinking about it, because stagnating the universe was the only quote-unquote solution you found. That's not allowing evolution to occur. He's supposed to be able to find a way to figure out what will stop the conflict between them. Constantly wiping all civilizations out and then harvesting them doesn't fucking resolve the conflict when it happens. It just forces it to inevitably happen again with the next one.
But the Reapers will be destroyed.
Would you have a pain like this?
Yes, but the peace won't last. Soon, your children will create synthetics, and then the chaos will come back.
Then they will have to learn how to deal with their own fucking hubris.
There is. You could instead use the energy of the Crucible to seize control of the Reapers.
So this is the ultimate Paragon decision, by the way. Paragon, I say.
Right after all.
Yes, but he could never have taken control, because we already controlled him.
But I can.
You will die. You will control us, but you will lose everything you have.
Now, when Shepard says he doesn't understand what that means, effectively what the ultimate Paragon quote-unquote choice is your body will be atomized and destroyed in the process of your consciousness being copied, cloned, and then you will overwrite the prime directive of all Reapers, and then you will become the Reaper control intelligence.
How can I control the Reapers if I'm dead?
It's not really the same principle. That's forcing the situation to not be able to move while you don't think of a solution. Because this AI actively admitted it couldn't find a better solution than to just freeze everything, basically. Because what that tells me is the child's not looking for a solution either. He's had millions of fucking years. He's had hundreds of thousands of cycles to look for a solution. Where's the goddamn solution by this point? If it's as intelligent as it claims to be, then surely it could have figured out a permanent solution while it was doing this. It didn't find shit. And now it's telling me solutions have presented themselves because the Crucible and the Catalyst are complete. Serendipity. Life figured out what to do when you gave it a chance.
We will be yours.
He wasn't giving it a chance. That makes him an idiot.
There is another solution.
Oh, and this is supposed to be what I consider the ultimate middle ground solution.
Add your energy to the crucibles. The chain reaction will combine all synthetic and organic life into a new framework, a new DNA.
Doing that would likely cause massive trauma to virtually every living being and every non-living being as it came into self-awareness. Because now you're part machine all of a sudden, and machines are now part organic all of a sudden.
Explain how my energy can be added to the Crucible.
Your organic energy.
By the way, this decision will also kill you. So, if you go by the child's logic, every option you pick will kill you.
The energy of the Crucible, released in this way, will alter the matrix of all organic life in the galaxy.
That's idiotic.
Organics seek perfection through technology. Synthetics seek perfection through understanding. Organics will be perfected by integrating fully with synthetic technology. Synthetics, in turn, will finally have full understanding of organics.
So here's my
It is the
question,
ideal
you
solution.
dumbass
Now that we
entity.
know it is possible, it is inevitable we will reach synthesis.
If you had millions of years to figure this shit out while you kept your goddamn petri dish in a controlled state, why the hell couldn't you figure this out when I did?
Why?
Because the organics were not ready. It is not something that can be forced,
But you're telling me I should force it.
and you may choose it.
I'm ready, but what about the rest of the universe being ready? Like, you're telling me that this can't be forced, but I have to force it. You also know that it is inevitable that all life must achieve a level of cybernetic synthesis in order to become whole. Synthetics can't understand organics because synthetics don't have emotions and their evolutionary logic. Organics can't understand synthetics because their emotions often drive them to illogical choices. That should have been a very simple thing for you to figure out over the millions of years that you had, that you needed to find a way to blend the pair. You had millions of cycles to choose, and you couldn't find one that allowed you to. I refuse to believe that's possible. Unless, of course, you're an imbecile. Again, your logic doesn't really logic here. Because you're going to force it now through Shepard. But you wouldn't before. That makes no sense.
I don't know.
Why not? Synthetics are already part of you. Can you imagine your life without them?
And there will be peace?
I have cybernetic implants that keep my body going.
The Reapers will
Because
cease their
pieces of my
harvest, and the civilizations
skeletal structure and
preserved in
whatnot
their
don't
forms
work normally.
will be connected to all of us. Synthesis is the final evolution of all life. The paths are open, but you have to choose.
Alright. So, here your choice is destroy all synthetics so that organics can grow and mature, but inevitably cause synthetic wars again. But the Reapers will be gone, so life will have to figure it out on its own instead of be kept in stagnation. Control, which is to seize control of the Reapers themselves, in which case Shepard will pull them all away from the galaxy and instead use them as a safeguard for all organic and synthetic life. Basically forcing them to not result to war in order to solve their problems without having to make war with something they know they can't beat. Or synthesis, force organic and synthetic life to merge, which would psychologically traumatize and probably decimate the populations of both sides of that, because I can't figure out how that wouldn't do serious psychological trauma to you when you went through it. Now, granted, I'm not a psychologist, but still, I know just enough about psychology to think if I suddenly became cybernetic, that would probably bother me for a really long time. Adaptation is inevitable in that case, but to the level that he's talking about, it's in your genetics. It's not like hacking off your arm and replacing it with a prosthetic. It's your entire genetic code became it. You can shoot the kid, but if you do, you get the secret ending, which is the ending where he looks at you for rejecting his philosophy of the 3 prime choices he gives you, and then kills you anyway, and continues the cycle with the Reapers. Even though he now knows the cycle of the Reapers being perpetuated would not work. So he defaults to his own stupidity after it's been proven that wouldn't work to begin with. And I would rather control the Reapers to make sure the galaxy has a chance of moving on its own then blow up the Geth and the Quarians and Edie just to kill the Reapers, only to inevitably have this problem again. And I know that synthesis is not going to happen right now, because while Shepard might be ready for it, I don't think the universe is any more ready for it than the AI thinks it's ready for it.
And head to the rendezvous point.
There's still too much stigma around the very idea.
I repeat, disengage and get the hell out of here.
In addition to all of that, activating the catalyst, no matter what you do in order to trigger the crucible, destroys all the mass relays. It's never really explained why it destroys all the mass relays in the control and synthesis endings. As to why it destroys them in the destroy ending, I imagine it destroys those because they're a source of, technically, Reaper technology. So it would make sense then. We knew it was possible, but the galaxy wasn't ready for it. There were millions of years that went by, hundreds, thousands of cycles that went by. But he never found a race capable of blending the two. Shepard's cognition overwrites and controls the Reapers. Now they're all running away and leaving. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for the mass relays to be destroyed. But if you pay attention, I believe this destroys the mass relays here in the process of shooting the signal out to the entire Milky Way so that he can take control of the Reapers. Yep. And then the entire galaxy, the entire universe rather, lights up in blue. Boink, 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 boink. Now I guess he's outrunning the explosion, even though the explosion very clearly didn't destroy the other ships in orbit. I don't know. It's really weird. What? Oh. Oh god, I think the screen on my phone is starting to go bad again. AT&T, dear. Yes.
Eternal. Infinite. Immortal. The man I was used these words. But only now do I truly understand them. And only now do I understand the full extent of his sacrifice. Through his death, I was created. Through my birth, his thoughts are freed. They guide me now. Give me reason, direction. Just as he gave direction to the ones who followed him. The ones who helped him achieve his purpose. Now, my purpose. To give the many hope for a future. To ensure that all have a voice in their future. The man I was knew that he could only achieve this by becoming something greater. There is power in control. There is wisdom in harnessing the strengths of your enemy. I will rebuild what the many have lost. I will create a future with limitless possibilities. I will protect and sustain. I will act as guardian for the many. And throughout it all, I will never forget. I will remember the ones who sacrificed themselves. So that the many could survive. And I will watch over the ones who live on. Those who carry the memory of the man I once was. The man who gave up his life to become the one who could save the many.
In a way, the original Shepherd is completely dead. His consciousness was cloned and put over the Reapers. Essentially, he was turned into an AI. And that's the end of Mass Effect 3. Yeah. Not the best ending, honestly. This is a game series that's kind of always been about choice. And being all about choice, one of the biggest issues is that this game doesn't really look at a lot of the choices you've made at the end in order to show you what you've done with the galaxy. The extended cut that you just saw there was added in last minute in order to try and show you what you did. And if it mattered all that much. But it also doesn't really resolve anything in a lot of ways. It's just kind of, hi, here's an ending, sort of. Enjoy. But the galaxy basically, you lose a lot one way or the other no matter what. And it doesn't really go anywhere no matter what. It also, the logic of this entity, I refuse to believe this AI had millions of years to come to the realization that it inevitably needed to cause synthesis of life in order for it to work, and couldn't find a species before now that could make that occur in organics and synthetics. It feels very forced and haphazard, and it just doesn't feel like it works very well. And no, nobody really wins in that instance. That's kind of the sad part. The Reaper solution just feels very asinine to me in the way that it's designed, because the Reapers claim they're not interested in conflict, but they're built to be the ultimate weapon. The ultimate killing and harvesting machines. That's not... And corruptive too. Like they indoctrinate everything into being mindless slaves that they just control and manipulate and destroy everything with. That's not really solutions to problems. That's just kind of forcing problems. It's stagnating the issue. Like, he stagnated an entire universe because he couldn't control the problem. He couldn't devise one. But by his own logic, he kind of proves why he can't devise one. Because he's not really able to look at things from an organic. So his response was, let's just keep annihilating organics and synthetics together and preserving them in the Reaper form, which isn't really preserving them at all, so much as just taking their essence to build more Reapers, which allows him to perpetuate the issue and replenish his losses. He was looking at this from a military perspective, whether he wanted to pretend he wasn't or not. And that didn't really present a solution. It didn't prevent the destruction and the chaos. It just perpetuated it and allowed him to end it by continuing to perpetuate it. And that's kind of one of the main reasons why, in my opinion, this ending does not work very well. I'm sure there was an idea that they were considering, but they claim, even Harbinger claims, we're the salvation of organics, we're the salvation of you through destruction. How are you saving me then? What are you saving me from? Myself? What did I do? You don't even know, because the Reapers don't really explain what they're doing. They just tell you this needs to be done and then do it. Cabra. not really a good thing. Don't know what to tell you. Don't know how to help you. Ultimately, I still love this trilogy, and I still feel like this is a really good game. All three of them are. They're just all flawed in very different ways, because each one of them was adjusted and upgraded in different ways. But also, I don't feel like Mass Effect 3 is the strongest in the trilogy. I think 2 definitely is. 2 really knew how to give you a lot of choices that felt like they had a lot of impact, and it knew how to set up what was going to become the final conflict. But it didn't know how to end the conflict in a way that made any sense. I think they tried to feel like they were coming from a divine intelligence or a beyond human intelligence, just didn't really know what to do with it. But the problem with this AI is it was created to find a solution, but because it's synthetic, it admitted that it didn't have one. So it just killed its masters in order to force one where synthetics were in charge. You basically just kind of proved the case that a resolution needed to occur by creating more havoc instead of actually producing a solution. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Like, that's not a solution at all. That therein is just perpetuating the inevitable chaotic one. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I've been Savage Hound Dusk. Be sure to take a look at my YouTube if you want to catch up on all my previous streams. Take a look at my Discord server that I'm trying to build if you want to be able to join and take a look at the games, or throw out some suggestions for games, rather, that I might be able to play in the future. This is the end, and here's your post-credits scene.
Did that all really happen?
Yes, but some of the details have been lost in time. It all happened so very long ago.
When can I go to the stars?
One day, my sweet.
What will be there?
Anything you can imagine. Our galaxy has billions of stars. Each of those stars could have many worlds. Every world could be home to a different form of life. And every life is a special story of its own.
Tell me another story about the shepherd.
It's getting late, but okay. One more story.
Congratulations on bringing an end to the Reaper threat. Commander Shepard has become a legend. From here, you can continue to build that legend. It's been a long journey for Shepard and for the team here at BioWare, and like Shepard, we couldn't have done it alone. The Mass Effect trilogy began as the vision of a small team, but over the years it's grown. That growth has been fueled and shaped by feedback and support of our player community. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We look forward to sharing further adventures with you in the Mass Effect universe. Signed, the Mass Effect team. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end. Have a good day. Unfortunately, BioWare is now a shell of its former self due to EA's gross mishandling of various licenses, and pretty much the entirety of the original BioWare team is gone. So those wishes, those beliefs, those thoughts, they're never going to get to come to fruition. And because of that, we'll never get to see The rest of it, the game basically puts you back to right before you go to Cerberus headquarters. And kickstart the entire end of the game. So if you want to continue trying to explore the galaxy and finding what you can in it, that's an option.
Commander.
If you don't worry about it. Because honestly, there's not that much to it. Particularly with how thorough I was, pretty much all of the side events really are all dealt with. Yeah, like, you don't get the majority of the Solarians on your back, but you will get the Solarian Third Fleet. Unfortunately, BioWare is now a shell of its former self due to EA's gross mishandling of various licenses, and pretty much the entirety of the original BioWare team is gone. So those wishes, those beliefs, those thoughts, they're never going to get to come to fruition. And because of that, we'll never get to see the rest of it. The game basically puts you back to right before you go to Cerberus headquarters. And kickstart the entire end of the game. So if you want to continue trying to explore the galaxy and finding what you can in it, that's an option.
Commander.
If you don't worry about it. Because honestly, there's not that much to it. Particularly with how thorough I was, pretty much all of the side events really are all dealt with. Yeah, like, you don't get the majority of the Solarians on your back, but you will get the Solarian Third Fleet.